Cool. Widescreen. Everybody likes widescreen. Alright, here's the deal. Here is my 1970 odd Mustang 330 skid steer. Now, a lot of people seem to want to call it a John Deere 70, rebranded, rebadged. Or some say it's a 90. Well, they're kind of both wrong. Because if you really look at the specs, it's probably closer to a JD70 or something like that. So, definitely almost exactly the same as the John Deere, but there's different things. Like, these booms are actually closer to the 125 John Deere, but the wheelbase and the height and all the other specs do match up with the John Deere 90, not a 70. And you can tell because the 70 has these weird circular wristy knuckle pieces that were kind of sucky. A couple new things, couple new hoses. Now, I used this for a couple winters a few years ago. Anybody who actually wants to see underneath. So, 1 hydrostat pump, 2 hydrostat pump, 2 motors underneath. Pretty simple. All in line. There's a gear pump right up, nuzzled into the front, and that's connected via a little chain coupler to the Onan engine. Onan? Oh no, Onan. So, just keep this out of here, make sure the battery doesn't get in contact. Ta-da! Alright, it's actually number 6953 from the Owatonna Mustang line. Now, hi girls, how come everybody with old machines has hens, right? Here's 3 of my, well, I had 18, but we just got 5 done, so fewer. All right, so what happened is with this Mustang is that it never really worked right. So it came disassembled. I got it for a steal for hundreds of dollars, not thousands of dollars. And it came with that's an Onan CCK, but it's like, seems to be an 1800 RPM model from a generator. I haven't quite identified it yet. All the other specs match up to the NHC. So, you know, it's got the same shaft output, which is like 1 7/16, but somebody put a Volkswagen Beetle blower on it to try to keep it cool, and it never really worked, and it was kind of sucky. So, what I did was, well, just... Alright, so I ran out of space on the card because I talked too much. But what we were saying was that, before we got cut off, was that this CCK engine came in the Mustang. Well, it came with the Mustang, but it wasn't installed. And the reason why is because it was never going to work anyway. It's only an 1800 governed engine. It's from a generator. He's got the wrong vacuum flow. It was cooked. Now, I thought maybe I could run it, so I didn't know much about it at the time. So I went and I got a standard automotive fuel pump, which you get pretty much anywhere. Right, here's a fuel pump, and the problem with this fuel pump is that it's 5.5 to 9 psi, which is too much for these Zenith carburetors, because these Zenith carburetors operate on like less than 2 psi from the facet pump on the factory. So out with the old, in with the new. Now we've got one that's limited to like 1 to 5 psi. Thanks eBay. That was less than $20 shipped, and that was Canadian. Everybody likes that. So, what happened next is in this little story is that we got this motor. So we got it off Kijiji, which is the Canadian version of Craigslist, basically. It's what's popular up here. And he said, come get it. It was about a 2-hour drive, maybe a little less. And my buddy and I went up to see it, and we couldn't even talk him down. I paid $200 for the motor, and life was good. So we brought it back. Hi, boy.
Hi.
How you doing?
Do you know where all the chickens went?
I don't know where all the chickens went.
Was that the new carburetor?
Yeah.
Can we try it?
What?
Can we try it?
Well, that's what this video is about. We're going to get to trying it.
Yay.
It's all primed up and everything. So, anyway, where were we?
I want to drive it. I want to drive it. How much gas is in it? Ooh, enough.
Some. You're excited to drive this thing?
Yeah.
How old were you the last time it was driving?
years ago.
Yeah, and it was parked outside for years because, you know, hard to find an Onan engine, and it's hard to find money for a spare Onan engine because they're getting kind of rare. Now, where were we? Right. Right. So we'll get to that part of the story. So the engine came with this carb, which is, I'm sure it's a fine carb. It's a side draft. Everything's good, but the throttle shaft is up here on the top. That's not going to work with an Onan, which has to push from the side. So we tested that motor on the bench, and my God, it fired. So the next thing we did was we took this CCK carb, and it didn't quite work. Thought it needed a new main jet, so I bought a new main jet. They're kind of expensive. Hi, girlie. Where are you coming? Just coming in where it's warm?
Chance to get it.
Nah, it's just coming in where it's warm. It's like -8 degrees Celsius out today.
I'll hold her.
It's pretty chilly. Anyway, so the CCK carb doesn't work because it doesn't flow enough air or fuel. Or maybe it does. I just couldn't get it to work. So I took the carb apart, boiled it, put a new main jet in it, cleaned it out, but there's still something wonky about it, or it's just not going to work on the bigger displacement. Because like the NHC engines are like 60 cubic inches, and the CCK engines I think are like 49 cubic inches. Where you going, baby?
Let her go. Don't let her.
I'm gonna let her go. We're going, hon.
Okay.
I think she's hungry. Paraglider winch. Ooh, where you going, baby?
In my hands.
Oh, those golden layers. My God, they're not very smart, but they're pretty docile. Not a bad chicken. Nice chicken, boy. All right. Back to the Mustang. So.
Excuse me. I'm gonna go.
All right, well, I'm going that way.
I want to feed her.
Yeah, go for it then, my boy.
A little food.
I'm gonna carry on talking to my camera here like a, like a weirdo. Okay, so came back. So the engine seemed like it was gonna work fine, except it left me on the sidewalk down there one day because I thought, I think we're good to go. Nope, it wasn't. Not at all. Kept sucking the float bowl dry, I think. Just sucked it dry, or it wasn't getting enough. Anyway. Found a retailer or some reseller on eBay, and that dude had this NHC carb. Now, these carbs are like $395, $375, $400 American dollars, if you can find them new. I got this one used for like $70 or $80 American. So it just arrived in the mail yesterday, and I threw it on. And who knows? I didn't clean it. I took the float bowl off, took the main jet out. The main jet was cruddy. Otherwise, not a bad carb. Like, it seemed all fine otherwise. So I gave it a little spritz. So I got the proper fuel pump, feeding the proper carb, and the proper motor for the whole Mustang. But everything else about this thing, it's mechanically 100%. Believe it or not, it fits in here, but only with like an inch to spare, and it didn't always get spared. Oh, don't show the wife, okay? All right, handy dandy ear my plugs, protect what's left of my hearing. Had a problem on the shaft here and welded it once, and permanently caused some damage. Don't grind inside a metal box with no hearing protection. I guess is the key. Right. All right. So the thing about an Onan compared to people who repower with Hondas or well, not so much Kohler, but Hondas or Briggs V-twins, man, they say they're 24 horsepower, but think about that. This here is a 24-ish horsepower, but it's 1,000 cc's almost. All right, that's almost a liter displacement. That's a lot of displacement, those jugs. So compare that to a Honda 24 that has, what, 650 or so cc's? Man, there's no way. Man, there's no replacement for displacement. You can have all the horsepower in the world. Still not going to work for me. I need that torque and that low-end grunt. So I'll take the extra half an engine. So when guys complain that maybe the newer engines don't have the torque of the old ones, That's because they're not comparing displacement or torque values. They're comparing a stick or horsepower value, and that doesn't count for nothing. So in today's horsepower ratings, you pretty much need to go with like a 31 or a 35 horsepower. Hey, got hearing protection. Got 2?
Huh?
1, 2. Boop, 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 boop. All right, my engineer in the making. Anyway, so we got our boat tank here. Number 1 of 3. Got our lines. Got everything we need. So.
Now, why didn't you put the tank at the bottom? Under there.
Because it doesn't fit down there. You got to use the original tank. This boat tank is too tall to fit down in there.
Why don't you use the original?
What?
Why don't you use the original one?
Well, we will. We're trying to get the motor to run, then we're going to make it run well. All right? It's not about making it perfect. It's about making it work and then making it perfect after. Get the concept to work. All right. All right. Contact.
3, 2.
Not bad for a carburetor we don't know anything about. Just take the choke off. Yeah, those are straight pipes on that NHC. So that's how an Onan should sound. Well, looks a little wonky with 1 cylinder. Might have to check it first. Well, that doesn't sound too bad, honestly. You don't have it in. It's got a fit, but not by much. Woohoo! T-bar! Got ourselves a joystick. Brakes off. Boy, that is tight! Well, this old girl seems to work. No way. Well, away we go. Bye, boy! Woo! No counterweight on the back, no bucket on the front. It's a little light in the britches. A lot light. Guess we're gonna pick up the bucket. I guess you could use a little more RPM too. Hey yo, Goober, it's me. little bit on the left. Little creek, little creek. Apparently she runs in gallons per hour, not liters per hour. That old CCK motor was pretty light. You could do a whole driveway on a gallon or less. All right, baby. I see you. Well, I'm not sure when it stopped recording, but at some point we took this out for the very first run and the very first hookup of the bucket and the very first real go. Not too bad. You know, it's over 40 years old. Already got to run up to the store and get some more gas, but that's for after. Looks like the boy's gonna have something to drive this winter, hey bud? Safety third. All right, we'll catch you guys later. Thanks for looking at my Mustang.